Jamuna Tera Pavanachari Jamuna Tera Jayodata Madhava Jayodata Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Shri Shri Radha Madhavasta Saki Panchatattva Shri Shri Prahlad Maharaj Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan Ananta Deva Ki Jai. That's a piece of Mayapur right there. Radha Madhava Astasaki. Most beautiful and most expansive in their glory and beauty. As we know in Kali Yuga, all the holy places are shrinking except one. And that is Sridham Mayapur. And the beautiful Sri Chandra Dhaya Mandir, the most merciful moon-like Lord, Chandradhaya, the moon of nothing but mercy. So next time you, Prabhupada specifically named that temple in that way. But two have risen on the horizon, not just Mahaprabhu, but Nitai. Two have risen. So mercy is in abundance. Yes, and we're very proud of our TOVP right there. Are there any new dates for the opening? Any updates? I've lost track.
Last I heard, 2026.
26, so next year.
Yeah, but this.
Yeah, it's been going on. Yeah. Nevertheless, please start saving now so you don't miss that. It's once in a lifetime. I think all the temples should be just locked for a month, and the whole world should go there with reasonable justification, right? We don't want to miss it. as I was in tears, watching Panchatattva installation over the small screen on a computer monitor in 2000, because I missed out. And when I saw, were you there?
I was sick. I was there, but I was sick.
Oh no. That's even more painful. So sorry to rub it in. Sorry to rub it in. But I was in a Advaita Acarya office with a few other devotees. And I think we all cried. So we totally blew it. We missed out. It was this wave of ecstasy that just went over and swarmed over devotees. It was so tangible, so thick. Even watching from far, from a distant place, distant in time, we still felt it. When the curtain opened, it was just like, devotees were like, and watching the faces of devotees, it was so incredible. Anybody was there? Any fortunate souls that were there for Panchatattva installation? Were you there?
Yeah.
You were there. Please tell us. Tell us what was the feeling? Tell us.
Everybody were in ecstasy. Every single person.
Were you in ecstasy?
Yes, I did.
I want to hear, how was it for you?
So,
It's a personal testimony.
about 10,000 devotees were there, and chanting Hare Krishna was constantly going on.
Use the mic for our online.
There are at least 10,000 devotees were there. Constantly just chanting Hare Krishna was going on. And I remember His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was in, and Jagataka Maharaj was so is all the pujaris of Mayapur. They were there, including Jananivas Prabhu and his brother Pankajangri Prabhu.
Prabhu, how was it for you?
Oh, I was in ecstasy. I told you, just chanting and dancing and jumping.
Where were you? Where you positioned? Back, front?
Well, I don't like the crowd. I was at the back.
Ah, that's the best view. I like that too, because you see everything. You see devotees and the Lord.
Yeah, and then I was able to see just everything because I was standing all the time, and all the devotees were sitting. And then at one point, they all got up and they were chanting and dancing and jumping. Oh, they were going nuts, I tell you.
Thank you for sharing. Shishi Panchatattva ki.
Yeah.
All right. It is connected to the verse. And you will see. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram. Together. Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashta Praeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naistiki. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam,
One should offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto the gods of God, by regular attendance in classes of Bhagavatam, and by regular service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving whose praise we transcend of songs, established as the irrevocable fact.
Hare Krishna. So we're reading from, covering a beginning of the chapter 10, first 9 verses, I believe. Brahma, just in a previous chapter that was entitled Brahma's prayers for creative energy. So obviously, Lord Brahma offered prayers. And then in reciprocation to those prayers, Supreme also offered kind words to Brahma and some instructions. And then he vanished, right? Last verse. After instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand. So this is the expansion part, just few milliseconds from a Big Bang. Is that how you call it? Big Bang. The universe is expansive in a dawn of creation. But then when it reaches maturation, it remains as such, as fruits on a tree, expansive, and then when they're matured, they remain as such until they're picked. So modern theories are somewhat right and somewhat they are not. So Brahma was given that task to expand, and then the Lord, personality of God, is supreme, in his personal form as Narayan, disappeared. So we know what happened when the teacher leaves the classroom. What happened when the teacher leaves the classroom? They play around. So in those hidden security cameras, not hidden because you're not supposed to hide. You just have cameras on display in a school. You can see if you rewind who is who or what kind of students they really are. When teachers is around, everybody's in their best behavior, right? But when teacher leaves, then you know who is who. So in Krishna consciousness, in a similar way, we can tell for ourselves. We can see how we are in front of others and how we are in private. Sadhu. Sadhu means no secrets, really. Sadhu is sadhu. Everybody knows what sadhu. Sadhu, saintly person, or those who endeavor on a path of a good character. They're like an open book and nothing to hide. Okay, so we'll see what happens to Brahma when Narayan leaves. We'll see in these few verses what happened to him. Okay, we'll take turns. I can start. Shri Vidura said, "O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead."
O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end.
The Goswami said, O son of Ryu, great sage my chairman, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much alive. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to questions one after another.
The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord.
Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he is situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to his strong, violent.
Long penance and transcendental knowledge and self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely, along with the water.
Thereafter, he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus.
Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the world of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into 3 divisions of worlds, and later into 14 divisions.
Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe, of his cosmic devotional service unto the Lord in the mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for the habitation of the different types of
living entities. Yes. That's the last verse, right? And now so you see what's happening? So in order for Brahma to really do anything, first thing he did is what? What did he do first? 100 celestial years of penance. Or as we read Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrita, a lifetime in preparation, right? You can't just like decide to do dental work on anybody, especially not on me. if you don't go through some kind of preparation, a penance, which involves penance. It's easy for anything to roll down the hill. You can just push anything down the hill and it will just go. But to climb up the hill, it takes strength and ability to climb. So this kind of sums up our life in this world. By entropy, everything is kind of falling apart. You don't have to put much endeavor at all. It will just fall apart. Neglect is what naturally comes. But what's against the grain is this penance, this austerity of maintenance. What to speak of creation if you want to create something. So Brahma is here. Actually, maintenance does require even more energy and more involvement than create. To create is hard, but to maintain is even harder. And of course, to destroy, we already said it. You just neglect it. So Brahma, exemplary, he gets involved in penance. And then what happened? He was empowered. He was able to create all 14 planetary systems. And that lotus, that is sprout, I heard when the lotus sprouted from the transcendental navel of the Lord, it was a bluish color due to the sinful reaction of living entities. So that seed of that proclivity or seed of unnatural things that disturbs the nature, unnatural things, they're against natural setup of things, was already there from the beginning. And that's what kind of sprouted the lotus. And Brahma found himself, if you remember in way back, 2nd canto, he has found himself also in complete darkness. And that's when he has heard tapa. Again, reminder that without austerity, we can't have any illumination or idea what to do next. And what is penance? Penance is ultimately trying to connect with the higher power. And when you're in darkness and you see nothing, what do you do? What do you do in darkness? Either you're afraid, or you start praying. You start praying, right? So when you don't know, like Kunti, I always like her example, Kunti Devi. When she's in doubt and in darkness of what to do next, she runs to her deities, a beautiful Shishigornitai. And she said, I cannot figure this out. So Brahma has done that multiple times. This is also another time he has done it. And he gets empowered. Everything is defined by our connection to the higher power. That is yoga. And on our own, we cannot really figure it out. It's impossible. We have no strength. We are so insignificant. And all the problems that we think we have, most of them, they come from forgetting our insignificance. We get carried away with this independent nature. And here we are, 2025. Look around. Look around. Are we living in a good world? Or in a world that has forgotten our utter insignificance and therefore forgot the kindness to each other, the kindness to ourselves? It all stems from forgetting that. And how much of a peculiar situation we are. So why would I go through any penance? Why would I pray if I don't recognize my precarious? What is the difference? Peculiar is like
Interesting. Precarious is like dangerous.
Precarious, that's the word. Precarious situation. So why would I surrender? Why would I surrender to anything if I don't understand how precarious? Kamala dhala jala jivana talamala. That life is just like a drop of water filtering on a lotus leaf or petal. At any moment can come. So surrender is, the requirement to surrender is to become conscious of our reality. That there's a danger at every step. Becoming materially exhausted. I've tried everything. I've tried everything, but have I become materially exhausted? No, there is hope. If I try a little harder, I didn't try in a right way. Maybe if I do this, I will succeed. And settle in this material world that, by the way, it's called Martya Loka. So let's look at how Brahma has surrendered. In a verse number 5, which is the verse of interest, we'll see how a surrendered soul wins in a battle against Maya. Did you know we are in war? The moment you pick up your beads, what is the meaning of this? What are you declaring when you pick up your beads? What are you declaring? Who said that? Can you say it louder? War on Maya, Kiara said. What does that mean, declaring the war? Maya is going to be like, here we go, the red carpet for you. Thank you for declaring the war. You might go, you're free. Is that the response from Maya? What will be the response when you declare the war against Maya? Oh, you're declaring the war. Bring it on. See what you're made of. See what you got. It's going to be some resistance there. So what do? Fight, freeze, or flight? That's the three responses. We can freeze, no good. We can flee, run away, no good. But we can fight. And how we do that? Well, let's see how Brahma has done it. Verse number 5. Tadvilo kyapja sambhuto Tadvilokyabja sambuto. Tadvilokyabja sambuto. Vayunayat adishtita. Vayunayat adishtita. Vayunayat adishtita. Padmanambashchatat kalam. Padmamambashchatat kalam. Padmamambashchatat kalam. Krita viryena kampitam. Krita viryena kampitam. Krita viryena kampitam. Tadvilokyabja sambuto. Vayunayat adishtita.
Tadvilokyabja sambuto. Vayunayat adishtika. Padmam pashchatat kala. Viryena kampitam.
Anybody else?
Tadvilokabja sambuto.
Tadvilokyabja sambuto.
Vayunayat
Vayunayat
adishtita.
adishtita. Padmamambashchatat kalam. Krita viryena kampitam. Okay, word by word. Altogether, Vilokya, looking into that, Abja Sambuddha, whose source of birth was the lotus. Vayuna, by the air, Yat, Adishtita, on which was situated. Lotus, Ambaha, water, Cha, also. Tat Kala Krita, which was affected by eternal time. Viryena, by its inherent force. Kampitam, trembling. Hare Krishna. All together. Thereafter, Brahma saw that God, the lotus. Oh, there's some trembling and strong violent winds, of which he later took care of by swallowing the wind and the water. But there was some agitation. Any volunteers for purport? Okay, we have a volunteer.
The material world is called illusory because it is a place of forgetfulness of the transcendental service of the Lord.
Oh, stop right there. You see how Prabhupada just drops a bomb right there on the first sentence. We're talking about Brahma and creation, but he picks up on that agitation and trembling and just drops the big statement there on the first sentence. Okay, please.
Thus, one engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the material world may sometimes be very much disturbed by awkward circumstances.
Okay. Awkward circumstances. Have you ever found yourself in awkward? Never, ever. awkward. Right? Note to myself. Such is the nature of this world. It's just turbulent winds. Nobody wants them, but they come. Nobody is asking for trouble, but they come. Like if you jump in the water, most likely you'll get wet, right? So this is the nature of this world. Dukkhalaya asasvat. It's certified by Krishna. It's wet. Water is wet. So as you enter, as shototai is like a, oh, that's Italian. It's like a diver, but covered in that, those old divers, like a big and was walking like that. Scuba, yeah, shototai. It's in Dalmatia, and I guess it's Croatian. The south of Croatia takes a lot of Italian words. So we're like that scuba diver with big suit. A very foreign environment. This is a very foreign environment. And it's full of miseries, to start with anxiety, right? It's anxiety. Everybody's anxious. And then it's temporary. Thank God, right? Thank God it's just a nightmare. Right? Somebody was making sounds of a bird this morning. We were on a japa walk. We won't mention no names. No names mentioned. Somebody was trying to communicate with the birds, like Saint Francis. Was making a bird noises. But I asked a question. What did I ask, Kavi?
You asked,
It wasn't Kavi, by the way. What did I ask?
you asked, does he want to take birth as a bird?
Are you preparing for your next bird? I'm making these noises. And most people actually are very enamored by the bird form. They think, oh, it's nice. I can fly high, be free like a bird, right? This is what we see from a distance. But if you zoom in, just observe how the birds live. From early morning, they're looking left, they're looking right, they're looking up. There might be some other bigger bird coming, right? Anxiety. It's not nice. I was in San Antonio once. I just came from Trader Joe's and I parked. I parked the van. I'm about to step out, but right in front of me, it was a cul-de-sac. And right in front of me, there was like something like two feathery-like creatures just like fighting. And I was like, what's going on? Right in front of my eyes. Then I looked, the neighbor to the right, he was filming the whole thing, like from a distance around the corner, not trying to disturb the fight. I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, this one bird just emerged, like with the other smaller bird in his claws, fangs, claws. And it was a hawk just dealing with the pigeon. So there's so much of a wonderful and free like a bird idea. It was very eye-opening for me. So we have to be careful. Okay, please continue. Sorry.
There is a declaration of war between the two parties, the illusory energy and the devotee, and sometimes the weak devotee fall victim to the onslaught of the powerful illusory energy. Lord Brahma, however, was sufficiently strong by the causeless mercy of the Lord, and he could not be victimized by the material energy, although it gave him cause for anxiety when it managed to totter the existence of his position.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. This wasn't a story. I just remember this wasn't a story. There were two birds doing like that. I just remember. I'm correcting myself. So two birds fighting, and then all of a sudden, from high in the sky, it was a third bird that came in and just scooped both of them. It was a big eagle. Just went down and scooped both of them and just took him up. True story. I swear to Tulsi. Yeah, it was terrible to watch, but these are the realities. The verse one more time. Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to the strong, violent wind. Oh, perfect timing. It says time for questions and comments. I like to set my alarm. I like to set my alarm so I don't miss you and your contributions. So please. Any comments or questions at this point?
There was a question in the morning.
Huh?
There was a question in the morning.
Oh yeah, for Japa period. What was the question?
What happens? Do we?
How do we not become that bird?
As a human.
Or is it hard to become?
Or easy.
It's hard as a human, especially if you're taking prasadam, but it's possible. You just have to quack like a duck, walk like a duck, and act like one. Or roar like a bear, act like a bear, or pig. It's our actions and our karma and our mentality that prepare us.
A lifetime of good thoughts, or is it just a last thought that
It's very complex. It's very subtle. Because we don't know what baggage we are carrying. And what does it matter? What kind of question is that? Is it hard to become a bird? You got to come up with a better question, Scott. So here's a story. Here's a story about anxiety. Here's a story about anxiety. And it's 1975. Toronto. Or does it say Toronto? Toronto, Canada. Uttama Shloka, he has called Prabhupada to tell him, Uttama Shloka Prabhu, he's called Prabhupada to tell him, Prabhupada, we've found the new temple. At that time, the temple in Toronto was falling apart. And they needed, for years he was looking. And finally, in 1975, he found this beautiful building. It's a church. You can see it today also. Beautiful church. It's like a neo-Gothic church. Right there on an avenue, main avenue, good location. So Prabhupada said, oh, wonderful. How much they're asking? He says, 500,000, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, we don't want to buy anxiety, that it's too much. And then Prabhupada, in the same breath, he said, is it nice? And then Uttama Shloka Prabhu said, yes, Prabhupada. And she started, we have big, it's a 40-foot ceilings and nice quarters for brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. And then Prabhupada said, no, that's too much. We don't want to buy anxiety then. All we're going to just think of how to, collect and make money. We don't. It's not going to be a good situation. And then he said, have you seen it? So each time he was back and forth. He was back and forth. He says, yes, Prabhupada, it's so nice. And I have the blueprints and how we can adapt. And maybe you can come and see it. And Prabhupada said, maybe we'll come. So 2 weeks later, Srila Prabhupada comes and they pick him up from the airport. And on the way to the temple, Prabhupada said, can you take me? Can you take me to the building to see? And they took him, and luckily it was a Christian group that was liquidating because they were moving to other place. And then put it on sale. So that one Christian was there. So luckily they were able to enter and they got him in. And Prabhupada was looking and Uttama Shloka Prabhu was showing and this and that. And on the way out, there was some book table, Christian book table, and there was one book, entitled, How Does the God Look Like? And Prabhupada said, ask them, can we buy it? And then the devotee asked, and the Christian said, no, you can have it. You can have it. So they took, and on the way, in the car, on the way back, Prabhupada said, okay, read something. So Uttama Shloka Prabhu was reading, but he was going nowhere. Then Prabhupada said, they don't know. Said, they're just bluffing. There's nothing. It's just like jibber jabber. They have no idea. They're bluffing, Prabhupada said. And then when they came back, that same day, 10 p.m., somebody came to Uttama Shloka Prabhu and said, Srila Prabhupada wants to see you. It's urgent. Please come. And he came to Prabhupada and in Prabhupada's room. And I believe there's other devotees there. And Prabhupada said, so, how much do they want for that? How much do they want for that temple, for the church? Uttama Shloka said, 500,000, 500,000 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, it's too much. How much do you have? He said 40,000 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, can you come up with 60 more? And he said, there's a chance we could. And then he turned to Brahmatirtha Prabhu and he said, how much do we have on BBT? He said, 200,000 Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, give it to him. So Prabhupada arranged 200. All he had, all chips in. All he had for that particular project in Toronto, Canada. And then he said, ask them, see if they would settle for 300 cash, and tell them that we'll have Jesus on the altar, and we'll maintain their tradition in that way, if they would settle as a part of the bargaining. Prabhupada engaged in that way. And then Uttama Shloka Prabhu said, yes, I can ask. And then Prabhupada said, yeah, but that's a lot of, that is a lot of investment. And Uttama Shloka Prabhu said, yes, Prabhupada, it's a lot. We don't want to buy anxiety, right? And then Prabhupada said, there must be anxiety. And he slammed the table and said, there must be anxiety. There must be anxiety in service. Otherwise, we'll all just eat and sleep and get fat and be comfortable or too comfortable. There's nothing wrong with comfort. We take care of our needs, but some room for surrender. And we cannot really fight Maya. Declaring the war means surrender is not a matter of moment. We surrender every day. It's not I surrendered yesterday. I surrendered when I got my new name. That was the day I surrendered. And then the rest, I'll just coast on cruise control with my courtesy japa. You know what courtesy japa is? You just show up and put your hand in a bead bag. And you go through the motions. You're doing the courtesy. You're not really putting your heart and your effort to be present with Krishna. So that's surrender. And that will bring some anxiety, right? Little anxiety is good, but too much anxiety is not good. So it's like cooking, right, Gandhini? The flame has to be just right. It can't be too much fire, and also too little fire, but just right. So some anxiety is good. It's the best way to serve Krishna. We take on that anxiety. Same year, 1975, I believe Vishnu Jan asked Srila Prabhupada's question in New Vrindavan during the Bhagavad Dharma discourse. So what is the best way to serve Krishna? Srila Prabhupada said, like gopis with some anxiety. Otherwise, where's the love? Where's the love? Where's the devotion? If we don't care, if we can't appreciate. And then, if those things are there, we'll be able to surrender and overcome all the difficulties, all the winds and turbulence that might be around us. Because when bhakti is there, anything is possible. When bhakti is not there, even the small things, it become a big ordeal. And we don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Yeah. That is the difficulty. Not understanding our insignificance and how much we depend on Krishna. Especially with Publix, right across the street. Such a convenience. Yeah, so magical. So magical. The fruits are there. Yeah, who needs to pray or depend on anything? My fruits are there, and it's already cut. That pineapple is already cut. My God, it's like being in a spiritual world. Might as well, they should change the name, Kalpataru, instead of, call it Kalpataru instead of Publix. Which, Publix can mean that as well. We don't call it wish-fulfilling trees, we call it Publix trees. Let's give them a credit, since they cut up fruit so nicely. And I got my chips and dips, and I got everything. Who needs to pray? Don't forget to offer it to Krishna. Do not eat boga. All right. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna. So much for the birds. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Go Premanand.
Sharada Vidya Jaya Radhika Jime Pele Saraswati Dhamma
Chetaka Pina Samsare Krishna Hari Kari Bhai Prashadana Dilo Bhai
Stay on with the power of the Krishna. Bring authority, under the and my